The Kentucky Derby is considered the greatest 2 minutes in sports, and this year, the 150th edition lived up to all the hype with a photo finish ending, adding to its legacy. But there is a part of that legacy that is hidden history, the role of black jockeys. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear said, quote, "Their importance has often been forgotten in the history of horse racing, and we are working to change that and make sure they too are remembered for generations to come." The family of the Derby's first jockey winner lives in Cincinnati, and they want him to get the recognition he deserves.
I had no idea he had won the Kentucky Derby. Oliver died in 1924. Lucy, his wife, she died in 1958. And when I inherited some things, I didn't know the significance of them. But I like antiques, so I wouldn't throw anything away, but I didn't understand the significance behind it. There's a clock with a horseshoe on it, and there was a telegraph left in the house. Makes sense now.
Ruth Johnson-Watts is the great-granddaughter of Oliver Lewis, the jockey to win the first Kentucky Derby back in 1875, a bit of history often overlooked.
Especially when we went down and Aristides is there. But Aristides didn't get there without Oliver taking him there. But he wasn't recognized. So those are the things to me that hurt, that you see what they had done and then didn't get any recognition, let alone appreciation.
Another bit of history, 15 of the first 28 Derby winners were African American.
You have no concept of your worth if you're working for somebody and you're only working for what they get out of it. How do you feel appreciated? That's almost impossible to imagine, because someone else is controlling everything you do, everything you have, and that they're benefiting from your labor, sweat, and toil. So I can't imagine what Oliver felt, maybe free on the horse, even though he was going around in a circle, but there was a connection between him and that horse, I'm sure.
You know, what this means to me, it's an amazing achievement. We, African Americans, we had to be great. We had to be good, because if we weren't, we would die. We would be maimed, we would be killed. So when the master told you to go out and train a horse and get him in a position, you had to go train that horse and do what you have to do. I have 3 projects I'm working on. I'm working on a feature film, I'm working on a documentary, and I'm working on a nighttime drama that's going to be, very creative, what I want to do. And I was trying to figure out where the relationship comes with black men and horses, and I couldn't figure it out. So I did my own research, and I started researching called the Willie Lynch letter, 1772. So it's 25 times in here that Willie Lynch talked about that, breaking the horse and breaking the man. And then it states, once you break the horse and the man, then you have an economical way of business. So many of our young African-American boys died on horses, being thrown off the horse at a very early age, because they were putting these kids on beasts. I call them beasts because they were at a very, very early age of 9 and 10.
I want the young people to know that dream big, and just know that we as a people, African Americans, have made a tremendous impact on the United States of America. And I think that's the importance of Oliver's accomplishments. He wasn't getting paid for it, but he'd done something that no one else had done before. And it has lasted 150 years. 150 years to be talking about it now. So, when you're doing it, you don't realize the impact it would have.
That's my message. I want to make sure that we get credit. I want to make sure that we know that the right image of Oliver Lewis is up. There's so many other black jockeys out there past him, but people are confusing Oliver Lewis with the other jockeys because they don't know the history. I want people to know who we are. And we deserve to be at the Derby. We deserve to have a place at the Derby. Oliver Lewis's face, image, likeness deserves to be next to Aristides, period. You know, and that's all we want. We just want our fair share of what it is. And economically, if you recognize us, you'll get paid. We'll show up and we'll spend money all day long. But don't recognize us, we can't help the system. It's not just for them, it's for all of us. And we are the backbone of it, and we just want our due. I know the truth shall set you free. And I'm going to continue to pass it on. I want my aunts and uncles to be recognized because they've done a lot of work, and then we're going to keep this generation going, and we're going to continue to get the recognition that Oliver Lewis and his descendants need, on the Lewis side and on the Johnson side, because without the Lewis, there would be no Johnson.
But even if it wasn't publicly known, it was satisfaction to know what my ancestors accomplished, how they suffered, how they persevered in spite of.
And this footnote, 13 of the 15 jockeys in the first Kentucky Derby were African Americans. But between 1921 and the year 2000, there were no black jockeys participating in any U.S. races. Meanwhile, some of you might recognize Rodney Johnson. He is an actor probably best known for his role on the old soap opera Passions. He told me the Underground Railroad Freedom Center contacted the family and now wants to preserve the legacy of Oliver Lewis by putting artifacts of the jockey in the Freedom Center for all to see. Back in a moment.